Here's the scene. Friday evening. You're standing in your own living room. The TV's on mute. Jacob deGrom's spring training start. Highlights rolling. Your wife is on the couch reading something on her phone. You reach over and touch her shoulder. Not a grab. Not a demand. Just your hand on her shoulder, the way you've done it 10,000 times. She flinches. Pulls away like you burned her. Can you not? She says without looking up. Your need to be touched is exhausting. You were going to say dinner's ready. Chicken Parmesan, her recipe. Actually, the one she taught you when you first moved to Tallahassee. Your hand drops. You stand there for 3 seconds that feel like a full minute. Then you walk to the kitchen and eat alone. That was my living room. My wife. My Friday night. My name is Alex Smith, and I need to tell you what happened next. I'm 40 years old. Software architect, work remote, 12 hours a day solving problems nobody can see. Michelle and I have been married 11 years. She's a marketing director, sharp, driven, the kind of woman who walks into a room and people notice. There was a night, maybe year 3, sitting on the back porch with cheap wine, and she leaned into me and said, "I'm glad you're the quiet one. When you talk, I actually listen." I held on to that sentence for years. 3 months ago, she came back. I say came back because there's no other word. She'd been gone 5 months on what she called her finding herself phase. Rented a place in Savannah, took a leave from work, said she needed to figure out who she was outside of us. I didn't fight it. That's not who I am. I process everything internally. My coworker Lee Williams calls me the iceberg, 90% below the surface. She returned calmer, colder, new vocabulary, boundaries, emotional labor, holding space. Her eyes were different. The woman who left was restless. The woman who came back was absent. Tuesday morning. I'm walking past the guest bathroom, and I hear Michelle on the phone. Her voice has that loose, laughing tone she used to save for me. "He made me coffee this morning and just stood there waiting for a thank you," she says. Julie Thomas on the other end, Michelle's best friend since high school, never married, absolutely convinced every husband is a burden. It's like living with a golden retriever. Julie laughs. Michelle laughs harder. "Seriously, Julie. He hovers. He cooks. He cleans. He reaches for me. It's suffocating. I can't breathe in this house." I stand in the hallway. My chest goes hollow, not tight, more like someone scooped something out. I walk to my office, close the door, stare at the monitor for 20 minutes without reading a single line of code. Stay with me here. Wednesday evening. I sit across from Michelle at the kitchen table. Phone off. Look at her. "Can we talk about what's going on? I feel like we're roommates." She sets down her fork. That patient look, the one that makes you feel like a child asking a stupid question. "See? This is what I mean by too intense. You're always monitoring my mood, Alex. That's controlling." I asked one question. It's not the question. It's the energy behind it. You're always watching me, waiting for something. It's exhausting. I open my mouth. "Close it." She picks up her fork. "I'm sorry," I hear myself say. I leave the table apologizing for wanting to talk to my own wife. And here's what I notice walking away. Every conversation about her behavior ends with me apologizing. Every single time. I try to talk about a specific thing, and I leave guilty of something else. I can't remember her ever saying the words, "I was wrong." Not once in 3 months. Maybe not once ever. Thursday. Michelle moves to the guest room. "My back hurts," she says. The mattress in there is firmer. 1 week becomes 2. 2 becomes 4. Nobody talks about it. I walk past that closed door every night, and the silence from the other side is louder than anything she's said to me in months. Saturday. Donna Sanders throws a neighborhood cookout. Lee drags me there. Michelle comes too. And that's when I see it happen in real time. Gavin Morris. Works at Michelle's office. Tall, easy smile. The kind of guy who makes everyone feel like the most interesting person in the room. Michelle spots him across the yard, and something switches on. Her posture changes. She laughs at everything he says. That real laugh. The one with the head tilt. She touches his arm twice in 20 minutes. Fixes her hair. Holds eye contact 3 seconds too long. I stand on the other side of the yard, beer going warm in my hand, doing the math. This is the woman who flinched when I touched her shoulder. This is the woman who called my affection exhausting. And right now she's glowing for a man she sees at the office. Lee steps up beside me. Doesn't say anything for a moment. Then, "You seeing what I'm seeing?" "Yeah." "You okay?" "No." He nods. Doesn't push it. That's why Lee is Lee. An hour later, We're home. I ask if she had fun. It was fine. Dead eyes. One word answers. She walks past me to the guest room. Night. Door closes. The switch happened in 60 minutes. On for a stranger, off for me. And that hollow thing in my chest gets a little wider. The following Friday, Julie comes over for wine. I'm in the kitchen making sauce when I hear her say, loud enough that she either doesn't care or wants me to hear it. A man who needs this much reassurance isn't confident. He's a project. Michelle nods. Sips her wine. I stand at the stove, wooden spoon in hand, jaw clenched so tight my teeth ache. But I don't say anything. I catalog. That's what I do. I take it in, I turn it over, and I file it away somewhere that doesn't have a name. You know that moment when you realize you've been performing in a marriage where nobody's watching? That's where I am. Cooking dinner for a woman who compares me to a dog. Making coffee every morning for someone who sees the gesture as an inconvenience. And the audience, Julie, Gavin, whoever's on the other end of Michelle's phone, they're all watching a version of me that doesn't exist. The needy husband. The clingy one. The project. Here's where things shift. The following Tuesday, Michelle does something she hasn't done in weeks. She comes out of the guest room, sits next to me on the couch, and puts her head on my shoulder. This is nice, she says. Her voice is soft, almost shy. We should do this more. Every cell in my body wants to melt into this. She smells like the perfume she wore on our first date. Her hand finds my knee and rests there. And for 45 minutes, I have my wife back. We watch some cooking show. She laughs at something the host says. She leans closer. I missed this, she whispers. I don't pull away. I don't hold on. I just exist. Because something in the back of my mind is already counting. Wednesday morning. Right on schedule. She walks past me in the kitchen like I'm furniture. Doesn't touch her coffee. Doesn't speak. I say good morning. She nods without looking up and walks to the guest room. Door closes. I notice it now. The better the evening, the colder the morning. Every time. Too consistent to be coincidence. Too precise to be accidental. The warmth isn't connection. It's bait. And every time I reach for it, I hand over a little more of who I used to be. Thursday evening. Public library on Monroe Street. The quiet section upstairs. I find a chair by the window, pull a book off the shelf, some novel I'll never finish, and I just sit. Pretend to read. Actually just breathe. The same page stays open for 40 minutes. Nobody bothers me. Nobody diagnoses me. Nobody tells me my presence is too much. I start going every Thursday. Michelle never asks where. That Saturday, I try one more time. We're in the kitchen after the kids. We don't have kids. It's just us, which makes the silence louder. I'm washing dishes. She's scrolling her phone. Michelle, I want to understand what's happening between us. I'm not trying to monitor your mood. I'm trying to be your husband. She sets the phone down, looks at me with something that almost resembles patience. Alex, I've explained this. You're codependent. You derive your sense of self from my reactions. It's not healthy for either of us. Who told you that? What do you mean, who told me? I figured it out. You figured it out during 5 months in Savannah? Or did someone help you figure it out? Her jaw tightens. Julie and I have talked about it, yes. She's been through relationships. She sees patterns. Julie's never been married. That doesn't mean she doesn't understand. It means she doesn't understand what staying costs. And you're letting her diagnose a marriage she's never been inside of. Michelle's eyes flash, not anger exactly, more like surprise that I pushed back. She's not used to it. The old Alex would have apologized by now. I'm not going to justify my friendships to you, she says. That's a controlling behavior. I'm not asking you to justify anything. I'm asking you to stop outsourcing your opinion of me. She picks up her phone, walks out. The conversation about her behavior, once again, never happened. Now here's the turn I didn't see coming. Sunday afternoon. Michelle's in the shower. Her iPad is on the kitchen counter, screen still on. A notification lights up, a name I don't recognize, and the preview starts with, I still think about that weekend in. I pick it up. My hand is steady. The rest of me is not. 11 minutes. That's how long it takes to find the whole thread. During her finding herself phase in Savannah, there was someone else. Not casual. Not a one-time thing. For months of messages. Dinners, weekend trips, plans about after. She didn't come back because she missed me. She came back because he ended it. His last message. I think we both know this isn't going anywhere. Take care of yourself. Her growth. Her new vocabulary. Her calm. It wasn't transformation. It was a rebound that ran out. She came home because she had nowhere else to go. I set the iPad back. Exactly where it was. Screen down. That evening she comes out in my old college t-shirt. Sits next to me. Reaches for my hand. You okay? She says. You've been quiet. Just thinking. She rubs her thumb across my knuckles. I know I've been hard to be around. I'm really trying, Alex. I look at her thumb on my hand. And I think about the man in Savannah whose last message said take care of yourself. I think about the guest room and the golden retriever comment and Gavin Morris getting the laugh that used to be mine. She's trying. But trying for what? To stay? Or to make sure I don't leave before she's ready? Get some rest, I say. I pull my hand away. Gently. She notices. Church parking lot. Sunday morning. I drive there, park the car, and I can't get out. People walk past in their Sunday clothes. Families. Couples. A man opens the door for his wife, and she smiles at him like it's the easiest thing in the world. I sit behind the wheel for 35 minutes. Never make it past the car. Monday morning. I call Brian Stone. A lawyer Lee recommended. I don't tell Michelle. I don't tell anyone. The withdrawal isn't something I plan. It's something that happens because the fuse burns out. I stop making coffee for 2. Just make mine, drink it, leave. Stop reaching for her shoulder. Stop asking how her day was. I start going out with Lee and the guys from work, Troy Cook, a couple others she's never met. Sports bars, pool halls. Come home smelling like beer and fried food. Don't explain. First week, nothing. She doesn't notice. Or if she does, she doesn't care. Second week, she corners me in the hallway. You okay? She says. You seem distant. I look at her. Just giving you the space you asked for. She blinks. Searches my face for the old Alex. The one who would have followed up, probed, tried to connect. He's not there. That's not what I didn't mean. You said my need for connection was exhausting. I heard you, Michelle. She stands there, arms crossed, and for the first time in months, she looks uncertain. Not sad. Uncertain. Like a chess player who just realized the board shifted while she wasn't looking. Third week. She starts orbiting. Shows up in my office doorway while I'm working. Asks if I want to take a walk. Makes small talk about the weather, about whether Nelly Cord is going to win the tournament Lee keeps texting about. I answer in 3 words or less. Not punishing her. I just don't have anything left to give. Friday evening. I come home from a bar with Lee and Troy Cook. She's on the couch in the dark, TV off. Where were you? She says. Out. Out where? With friends. What friends? I don't know these people, Alex. I look at her. You never asked to. She stares at me. And I see something I haven't seen before. Not anger, not coldness, but a flicker of something close to fear. She's losing the game she set up. She wanted me to keep reaching so she could keep pulling away. She didn't plan for what happens when the reaching stops. I don't like this version of you, she says quietly. I don't either. But the other version was exhausting you. Your words. She has no answer for that. I walk to the bedroom, close the door, sleep alone by choice, for the first time. She makes dinner the next night. Her mother's lasagna, the one she hasn't touched in 2 years. Sets the table. Candles. I thought we could eat together, she says. Almost shy. I sit down. Eat. It's good. We talk about the Nebraska spring game, whether the oak in the backyard needs trimming. She smiles, a real one, or close enough. She touches my hand across the table. I've missed this, she says. And I think. I've heard these exact words before. Tuesday warmth. Wednesday ice. The cycle. I've read the messages from Savannah. I know she didn't come home for me. And the sweetness that feels so genuine right now. It's the same sweetness that disappears by morning. This is really nice, she says. Her eyes are soft. It is. Can we do this more? Just be normal? We can try. Thursday morning. I wake up, and she's already gone from the guest room. Cold coffee on the counter. She made it herself for the first time in weeks. Didn't make me one. The lasagna pan sits in the sink, unwashed. Last night's candles are still on the table, wax pooled on the cloth. She's on the phone with Julie before I'm out of bed. I hear it through the wall. He's being weird, she says. Distant. He goes out with these guys I've never met and comes home late. It's like he's a different person. Julie's voice. See? I told you. Men can't handle boundaries. He's punishing you. Maybe I should. Do not chase him, Michelle. That's exactly what he wants. I pour my coffee. Walk to my office. Close the door. She wanted me to chase. Julie told her not to chase back. 2 people in the same house, both standing still. But I'm standing still because I'm done. She's standing still because she thinks it's strategy. That weekend, Carla Price, 2 doors down, stops me at the mailbox. Alex, can I say something? Sure. Michelle at that cookout last month. With that Gavin guy. People noticed. I noticed. She's choosing her words carefully. You deserve to know that it was visible. I know, Carla. Thanks. She looks at me like she wants to say more. Doesn't. Then the pipe bursts. Tuesday night. Water pouring through the basement ceiling. I'm on the phone with insurance while Michelle's hauling boxes upstairs. Emergency plumber, contractor estimates, adjuster scheduled for Thursday. The kind of chaos that strips away pretense because there's no time for it. We're side by side for 3 days straight, sorting through water damage, making calls, arguing with the adjuster who keeps lowballing the estimate. It's the most time we've spent together since she came back from Savannah. During a tense call, the adjuster telling me basement damage isn't covered under our policy, Michelle reaches for my hand. Instinct, maybe, or need. I don't pull away, but I don't hold on either. My hand just sits there, neutral, like a thing on a table. She looks down at our hands, notices the difference, says nothing. That night, living room floor, 11 p.m. Salvaged photo albums spread across the carpet. 11 years of pictures. She picks up one from our trip to Cedar Key, me holding a fish the size of my forearm, grinning like an idiot. I miss us, she says quietly. I look at the photo, then at her. Which version? I say, the one where I'm too intense? Or the one where you came back because he didn't want you? Her face goes white. Not red, white. The color drains like someone pulled a plug. What? She whispers. The messages, Michelle. Savannah. The guy who ended it. You didn't come back because you missed me. You came back because you ran out of options. Silence. The kind you feel in your ribs. How long have you known? Weeks. And you didn't say anything? I was waiting to see if you'd tell me yourself. I keep my voice level, not cold, not angry, just done. You didn't. You moved to the guest room, called my affection exhausting, laughed about me with Julie, lit up for Gavin Morris at a cookout like I didn't exist. And every time I tried to talk about it, I walked away apologizing. Every single time. She starts crying. Real tears. I can tell because her face doesn't arrange itself first. It just crumbles. I didn't know how to come back, she says. I was ashamed. And the longer I waited to tell you, the harder it got. So I made it your fault. All of it. Because if you were the problem, then I didn't have to be. I sit there, photo albums between us. 11 years on the floor. You're not looking for me, Michelle. You're looking for applause. From Gavin. From strangers online. From anyone new enough to still be impressed. I stopped being a discovery to you. I became a given. And you need someone new to prove to yourself you're still desirable. Every single time. She flinches. Same flinch as that Friday night. But this time, I caused it. Julie said, Julie has been divorced 0 times because Julie has been married 0 times. She thinks every husband is the enemy because she's never stayed long enough to find out what staying costs. And you handed her the keys to our marriage. That's not fair. You called me a golden retriever, Michelle. You laughed. She laughed. I was standing 8 feet away. Her hand goes to her mouth. I didn't know you. You did. I heard every word. And you know what I kept thinking? Not anger. I kept thinking, when did wanting to be close to my own wife become something to apologize for? She switches. The tears stop. Her eyes harden. So what? You've been keeping a list? Tracking everything I say? That's exactly the kind of surveillance behavior Julie warned me about. Julie warned you about a lot of things. None of them involved looking in the mirror. You're twisting this. You're making yourself the victim when I've been trying to set healthy. You set boundaries for me. Not for Gavin. Not for the guy in Savannah. For me. The boundaries were a wall you built around yourself, but only on one side. That lands. I watch it hit. Her mouth opens, closes. Opens again, nothing comes out. She pulls her knees to her chest, surrounded by scattered photos. She looks raw and frightened and younger than I've ever seen her. I did love you, she says. Before Savannah. Before everything. I didn't know how to be close without feeling trapped. So I punished you for wanting me. Her voice cracks. And then I punished you for stopping. I look at her for a long time. I've already called Brian Stone. The silence has weight. Physical, actual weight. The Blake Lively interview plays on the kitchen TV to nobody. Are you sure? She whispers. I notice something, Michelle. The better the evening, the colder the morning. Every time. After every warm night, you'd freeze me out by sunrise. Too consistent to be an accident. And I'd spend the whole next day replaying what I did wrong. But I didn't do anything wrong. The warmth wasn't connection. It was a cycle. And every time I reached for it, you pulled the rug out, and I lost a piece of who I used to be. She doesn't answer. Her tears have stopped. Something worse has taken their place, recognition. I've been sure for weeks. I say. I just needed you to hear why. She nods. Slow. Like she's agreeing with something she's known longer than I have. I'm willing to examine my own behavior. I say. But first, what did you do wrong in this? Not what Julie told you. Not what the self-help books say. What did you actually do? She looks at the floor. At the photos. At 11 years spread across the carpet. Everything, she says. Barely audible. I did everything wrong. I stand up. My knees crack. Been sitting on this floor too long. I loved who I thought you were. I say. And I think, somewhere in there, she's still real. But I can't keep reaching for someone who punishes me every time I get close. She looks up at me. Mascara streaked. No performance left. Just a woman sitting on a floor surrounded by photos of a life she dismantled one diagnosis at a time. What happens now? She asks. Brian files Monday. We figure out the house. We figure out the rest. And us. There hasn't been an us in a long time, Michelle. You made sure of that. That was October. November came quiet. Brian handled the paperwork. I moved into an apartment off Gaines Street. Small, clean, one window facing the park. Mornings I make coffee for one. Evenings I sit by that window and read. Actually read this time. The first week is the hardest. Not because of her, because of the quiet. 11 years of another person's breathing, another person's footsteps, another person's presence in the next room. Now it's just me, the coffee maker, and the sound of a park waking up outside. But here's the strange part. The hollow feeling in my chest, the one that started that Friday when she flinched, it's still there. But it's changing shape. It's not emptiness anymore. It's space. Room for something I forgot existed. I run into Michelle once at the grocery store. She's pushing a cart, phone in her pocket for once. She looks tired but present in a way she hasn't been in months. You look good, she says. Getting there. She hesitates. I started seeing someone. A therapist. Not Julie. Good. We stand in the cereal aisle a moment too long, then we don't. Last week, Lee and I are watching the Michigan women's basketball tournament game at a bar on Tennessee Street. He's 2 beers in, arguing about a bad call. My phone buzzes. Michelle. A photo, my library card, sitting on her kitchen counter. The text says, found this in the junk drawer. 5 months of Thursday checkouts. Same branch. Were you there every week? I type back. Yeah. 3 dots appear. Disappear. Appear again. I never once asked where you went. I set the phone down. Lee's yelling at the screen. The bar smells like wings and old wood. 5 months of Thursdays. A plastic chair between the shelves in the quiet section. Book open, page unturned. Not reading, learning how to breathe without her permission. And she never once asked where I go. Some doors, once you close them, need to stay closed. Dear listeners, that's our ending. If it resonated, subscribe to support the channel. See you next time.